It's May 1, the start of Child Month, and parents are encouraged to take responsibility and break the cycle of irresponsible parenting. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Audrey Williams. Coming up, a reminder of why the care and protection of our children is everybody's business. Plus, preparedness tips for the upcoming hurricane season. Stay with us. The details come your way right after the news of the day.
How well do you know your child? What he or she likes or dislikes? Favorite food or color? How about who their friends are? Make the time. Get to know your child. It helps to build their relationship. Makes it easy to keep them safe, and it helps their development process.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, May 1. Government has again listened to the voice of the people and rolled back the tax on withdrawals from deposit-taking institutions. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips made the announcement as he closed the budget debate on Wednesday. Andrea Chisholm tells us more.
The levy on withdrawals is being replaced with two taxes considered less burdensome to the man in the street. The first is a 15% withholding tax on all insurance premiums paid by Jamaican citizens and businesses to foreign companies. However, local insurance companies won't have to pay. The finance minister said the new withholding tax would increase compliance in general.
A common tax avoidance scheme employed by these firms is to create a captive insurance company in an offshore jurisdiction. The captive charges the local operating company an insurance premium, which is treated as an expense and is totally deductible from the Jamaican corporation income tax.
The second tax measure to replace the levy on withdrawals is a general consumption tax GCT on imported services like the hiring of a management company from overseas.
The move is to remedy the imposition of GCT on imported services is designed to stem future revenue losses from this source, as purchasing services offshore is becoming increasingly common. It will also stimulate the development of a domestic service sector as part of the overall growth strategy.
The government is expecting to collect $2.3 billion from both measures, the same amount that would have been raised from the tax on withdrawals. For GIS News, I'm Andrea Chisholm.
Meanwhile, the investment tax for insurance companies and the premium tax for life insurance companies have also been withdrawn. Stacey Ann Smith has details of the decision announced in Parliament on Wednesday.
The finance minister had announced on April 17 that the premium tax rate would go up to 5.5% and the investment tax rate to 20%. But as he closed the debate Wednesday, Dr. Phillips said life insurance companies would instead pay an asset tax of 1% rather than the 0.25% which was previously announced.
This measure is intended to be temporary and will last for 1 year. The potential revenue intake will be approximately $900 million, approximately the same as was intended from the previous measure.
In the meantime, the increase in the special consumption tax SCT on alcohol for the tourism industry will be delayed by 1 month.
This is in response to a request from the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association for additional time to discuss the implementation of this measure by the tourism industry. This will result in a revenue loss of approximately $36 million.
The increase in SCT on alcohol for the tourism sector should have taken effect on April 22. Under the new regime, the tourism sector, like all other sectors, will now be required to pay $1,120 on each litre of alcohol instead of the concessionary rate of $700. In relation to the 10% reduction in customs duty for petrol and diesel vehicles, Dr. Phillips announced that pickups would qualify for the reduction. Hybrid vehicles, however, will not attract customs duty. Stacey Ann Smith reporting for GIS News.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has allocated $64 million this year to fund measures that will help to reduce the effects of climate change on the sector.
These activities include the setting up of rainwater harvesting systems, the training in climate-smart agriculture, proper water and land management, and promoting more efficient use of water through drip irrigation systems.
The projects will be carried out under the Jamaica Adaptation Fund program. Minister Clark says the Agriculture Ministry will take on the challenge of including climate change adaptation and mitigation into all its farming practices, while it works with other key state agencies to mobilize more resources to handle climate change. As the Health Ministry tackles the lifestyle habits that lead to non-communicable diseases, or NCDs, the portfolio minister has set his sights on the abuse of alcohol. Dr. Fenton Ferguson says the ministry has taken note of primetime ads targeting young people and signaled his intent to meet with the alcohol industry soon. In the meantime, he's cautioning users of alcohol.
Cirrhosis of the liver, cancer of the stomach are some of the outcomes. I say to you, there is evil in excessive use.
Meanwhile, Dr. Ferguson says talks with the food industry have begun, focusing mainly on portions and the proper labeling of foods so that consumers can make informed choices. The health minister says Jamaica cannot continue with its current unhealthy habits, which are creating costly diseases and leading to early deaths. And finally, State Minister for Foreign Affairs Arnaldo Brown held bilateral talks with a delegation from Spain this week, in keeping with government's commitment to maintain strong ties with key allies. Spain's ambassador to Jamaica, Her Excellency Celsa Nuño, was also at Monday's meeting, which included a high official from Spain's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation. The parties focused on the economic situation of both countries, the labor market, tourism, gender equality, and areas for deepened cooperation. They also discussed energy matters and climate change. Minister Brown reaffirmed the benefits of Jamaica's relationship with Spain, pointing to recent gains in the tourism sector. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Prevent overfishing. Give our marine resources room to replenish. Protect valuable marine species from extinction. Fish sanctuaries have been created to do just that. These designated protected areas for fish and other marine life help to breed, grow, and maintain a healthy population. No one is allowed in a fish sanctuary. It is illegal. Offenders will be arrested and their fishing equipment and catch confiscated. Allowing our marine and seafood population to grow means more catch later and food security for all. It's that time of year again, making sure you are prepared for the upcoming hurricane season. So keep watching Jamaica Magazine for tips that will remind you of some important procedures to follow.
A hurricane is a tropical storm with winds reaching a constant speed of 119 kilometers or 74 miles per hour or more, and may extend outwards by 483 kilometers or 400 miles. Hurricanes blow in a large spiral around a relatively calm center known as the eye, which is generally 20 to 30 miles wide. Described as the greatest storm on Earth, hurricanes rely on the warm, humid air above the tropical Atlantic. They usually start in an area over the warm ocean where winds coming from different directions converge. As the air rises around the storm center, it begins to cool. This cooling mixture condenses to form clouds and rain. It is always wise to have a disaster plan before the storm, so at the start of the hurricane season, you should know your risk. If you live in a flood-prone area, identify a place where you could go if you need to evacuate. Find out the location of the nearest emergency shelter. Trim trees that touch power lines. Inspect your house. If your house is made of wattle and daub or lumber, check the base for moisture and inspect for rot. If any of the two are found, do quick but good repairs. Check insurance coverage. Meet with your insurance agent or broker and go over your policies and coverage to avoid any misunderstandings. Clear your yard and drains of debris. If you own a boat, find a place to move it in an emergency. When a hurricane forms within the vicinity of the Caribbean, the Meteorological Office will issue reports about its strength, speed, and direction. It is advised that persons should listen to their radios to get updates on the intensity of the system. These advisories are given every 6 hours or more frequently if the situation demands. When the hurricane becomes a threat, a hurricane watch is issued, and when the system intensifies, a hurricane warning is issued. During a hurricane watch, it is time to start preparing by purchasing necessary supplies and securing your home. At this time, you should check your supplies, your family plan, and try to refill medical prescriptions, especially for persons with asthma or hypertension, which may be aggravated during this time. You should also listen to the radio or television for hurricane progress reports. Secure canned and non-perishable food. Store valuable and personal papers in a waterproof container on the highest level of your home. Fill your car with gas and check your battery, water and oil. Store drinking water in clean bathtubs, jugs, bottles and cooking utensils. Pack a survival kit and be prepared to take action if the watch changes to a warning. When there is a hurricane warning, there is a shorter time for preparing, as it means that hurricane conditions will affect the island within 24 hours. If you are between 7 and 9 months pregnant when a hurricane threatens, there are certain precautions you should take, as many women are known to go into labor during this time. Be sure to have necessities for the birth of the baby and for yourself packed in a waterproof bag or plastic. Take them with you wherever you go. Get company if you live alone. Move closer to the hospital or nursing home where you are to be delivered. Keep an extra supply of any special medication you will need. Visit your doctor or midwife before the hurricane strikes if possible to ensure that your baby and yourself are fine. And keep calm. It is very important for both you and the baby.
Basically, get canned goods. We'd have charge some extra battery for our phone, get a radio and stuff like that. They say you're supposed to know a route, different routes out of your community in case one route gets blocked, you know. Just be well informed of what's going on.
Well, you make sure that you have enough food, like tin food, water, candles, stuff like that. So when light gone, and a battery radio. Yeah, stuff like that. Make sure the windows are battened down.
Boards to back up the windows. They get oil, that's kerosene oil. You get some coal. You get blankets.
And try to put like the things in plastic, like clothes and those things, and check the house to see if the roof's secure.
Prepare food kind, water, and electricity will be out, so you would prepare candles, and if you have a lamp, you buy your kerosene oil and etc.
First and foremost, food is very important, so you stock up on canned food.
Keeps our bodies working, our food nutritious, our living and working spaces clean, and our lives comfortable. Water, the most precious resource necessary for the sustenance of life on our planet. Don't waste it. Let's conserve on this critical commodity. In the house, invest in storage containers and buckets. Take quick showers instead of long baths, and invest in water-efficient shower heads, toilets, and faucets. You may also want to consider one-pot meals and cooking methods that don't require much water. You could also wash fruits and vegetables in a bowl and reuse the water on your plants or grass. When cleaning dishes, fill both sinks and use one for washing and the other for rinsing. The leftover water can be used to wash off the concrete or asphalt in your yard. If you must wash your car at home, aim for once a fortnight and use a bucket to do the washing instead of running the hose. Don't delay. Start your water conservation practices today.
It's Child Month, a period that is set aside to reinforce the importance of taking care of our children and allowing them to grow and become the best versions of themselves. The journey of parenting is not always smooth sailing, so reinforcements and reminders are necessary. This year, the focus is on parents taking responsibility, a powerful method of breaking the cycle of negative trends. But you know, being responsible is not only for parents, but for everybody. Here's why.
Hey Sam, what's poppin'? Are we check out in the paper? I mean there?
Not today,
Skip around.
I still get to that page.
Sam, I want to go on over next door to put their ball down the place.
My dear, only God can save that baby there, because every night and every day is just beer balling and his beer boof buff like him mother kill him with lick, you know.
So what you are going to do about it?
What me must about it after it's not my business?
I know for your business? No. You never know, sir. If you know or suspect your child is being abused or neglected, you must report it to the police or the Office of the Children's Registry.
A lie.
And if you know about the abuse and you don't do nothing about it, you can be fined $500,000 or spend 6 months in prison or both.
What you say? Me never know about that.
You stay there. You never hear the saying, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law.
And the law is very clear. The care and protection of our children is everybody's business. Under the Child Care and Protection Act, each of us has a role to play, whether you're the parent of a child or just his neighbor.
What is the role of the Office of the Children's Registry under the Act?
Well, under the Child Care and Protection Act 2004, basic role is to collect, assess and disseminate in terms of referral cases of children who are abused in Jamaica to partner agency for investigation.
And Mr. Sandcroft, what about the CDA?
Child Development Agency mainly has responsibility for care and protection of children who come to us via abuse or other avenues.
What would be considered child abuse?
Child abuse constitutes in terms of physical, sexual, emotional abuse, and in terms of also, to some extent, neglect, and also care and protection.
How do I know if a child is in need of care and protection?
Or there is a checklist under the Act. If the child has parents, or whether he has parents or he does have parents, and he seems to be in need of care and protection, there's a number to call, 188-PROTECT, and your advised as where to go from there.
What are the duties of every adult when they see a child in need of care and protection?
Well, under the Child Care and Protection Act, in terms of mandatory report, that all citizens do have obligations and the right to make these calls to report of children who are in need of care and protection.
What are some of the penalties under the Act for parents or guardians?
Okay, under the mandatory reporting section, which is Section 6, and under Section 8, which deals with cruelty to child, when Section 9, the penalty is $500,000, $500,000, or 6 months imprisonment.
How often do these cases go to court?
Well, many matters are brought before the court. They have been successfully prosecuted. Most are given probably a 3-month sentence, because, or sometimes it can be given both the fine and the sentence. So it is working, it's in place.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It's an old West African proverb that's still very relevant in Jamaica today.
The Child Care and Protection Act emphasizes that the duty to protect children rests not only with the family, but with all members of the society. If you know or suspect that a child is being abused, report it to the police or the Office of the Children's Registry by calling 1-888-PROTECT. That's 1-888-776-8328. You don't have to give your name.
Remember, the care and protection of all our children is everybody's business.
Lift up your hearts with a smile. Lift up your feet with a dance. Lift up your spirits with a song. It's family time. It's family time. It's family time. We want our Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
We're in a highly technologically driven world, and down to the very smallest individuals among us are tech savvy. But that doesn't mean they know how to protect themselves as they communicate through the different social media networks. So as we focus on parents taking responsibility to safeguard their children, how about applying that to social media? And that goes for all of us. The luxury of instant communication is today being enjoyed by just about everyone, from the toddler to the elderly. Just imagine being able to communicate or do business with anyone, anywhere in the world, without going to them. And with the use of Facebook, Twitter, BlackBerry Messenger, YouTube, and so many others, the medium expands even greater. Businesses and individuals have capitalized on this wave of social media network to either push their products and services or just socialize.
I'm hooked up on Facebook.
I am a part of Twitter, Facebook, MySpace.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on the YouTube site.
Well, for me, it helped me to communicate with my friends here in Jamaica and those that left.
As an artist that's seeking some promotion, I use it for exposure.
With everything comes responsibility. So while being attached to the social media circle may be all about the pleasure or business, it doesn't hurt to exercise a little caution.
I've seen a lot of persons posting that, kids especially, and they'll give a lot of information because they're vulnerable. And they say they'll be at Sovereign, nobody's home, we'll be on vacation. And it poses a real risk, really, for persons to breach their houses, steal, and that kind of stuff. Oftentimes, we have also had reports of children being exploited. We have had cases where we have seen persons downloading pictures of kids. So what happened, they'll download these kids, they'll morph their faces on nude bodies, and they'll tell them that, listen, if you don't have sex with me, I'll post the pictures.
For those of you who don't know, Foursquare is a location-based website. I can check in and say, I'm at Chilitos, but there are some inherent risks, especially from a location standpoint. Telling somebody, I'm at Scotia ATM, Ligani, which I've seen a lot of these things show up on Foursquare, and it got so bad. There was a website called pleaserob.me that was done, and all it did was just collate people's check-ins at locations related to money, and the website was done to scare people and have them realize there's actually a risk in checking in at home. Marketing is great. Understand the risk before you dive in.
What scares me the most is that there's companies out there right now that are building data warehouses full of your information. For example, your daughter, your son, they took a picture inside your house. Well, that picture that's posted out on some of these social media on there, they have what they call EXIF data in it. You probably deal with that. EXIF data, which has the latitude and longitude of where that picture was taken. If that picture was taken in your house, guess what? I know where you live.
One thing to remember in all this is that social media networks were not created to harm persons, but there are individuals who manipulate the systems for illegitimate reasons. So here's a look at some ways you can be social and stay safe. Be careful of who you accept as friends.
Think twice before sharing personal information that could make you vulnerable. Posting your birth date, cell phone number, or home address anywhere online puts you at greater risk. This is where you could customize your settings to restrict access only to certain users. And some useful tips for parents. Encourage your child to tell you if they are uncomfortable or threatened by an experience. Explain to your child that photographs can reveal a lot of personal information, and insist that your child never meets anyone in person that they have communicated with online. But that's not all there is to social networking. The personal benefits of this fast-growing trend are that you are able to increase your social status by making new friends and forging new relationships. By creating a professional profile, one may also be recruited by companies seeking individuals with your expertise.
What are you doing to help the fight against crime?
Sitting on the corner, minding your own business, definitely not going to work.
It is time for us to unite.
Unite.
Unite for change.
Citizens coming together to make their respective communities safer. The police, schools, public health, business, churches, NGOs, parents, and neighborhood watch volunteers.
As we, the police, do our job,
we as citizens need to do our part as well.
Report crimes or even suspicious activities.
Let's all work together
as one united front against crime.
And make Jamaica the place of choice to
live, work, raise families, and do business.
Unite for Change, an initiative of the Ministry of National Security.
This is how we close the show for today, but you can stay connected via our website, www.jis.gov.jm. Keep sending your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or a tweet at JIS News. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same station. On behalf of the production crew, I am Audrey Williams. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.